Hi, I'm Josh from ShearTech Tools, a Canadian-based company that provides woodworking and metalworking tools. The spiral cutterhead is one of many cutterheads that you can install on your jointer or planer. Today, we're going to look at how the spiral cutterhead differs from a traditional straight blade and the pros and cons for using one. Right away, we can see the major difference between a regular straight blade cutterhead and a spiral cutterhead is the positioning of the blades. Instead of having 2 to 4 long blades that extend across the shaft, the spiral cutterhead has small carbide inserts that rotate around the shaft. The inserts are installed at an angle, creating a shear force when cutting. If we were to look at the cutting done by a straight blade, the entire blade contacts the wooden board at once, creating wash marks. On a wash mark, the wave-like appearance is determined by the feeding speed and diameter of the cutterhead, where the peaks and troughs are generated by the gaps between the blades. This can create an undesirable finish where there are a series of grooves that act along the wood. It can also be a challenge to use a straight blade on wood pieces with various grain directions and can result in tear out. The inserts on a spiral cutterhead only hit the surface of the wood at one small point, allowing the next insert to remove the wood beside the first point of contact. A common misconception is that the angled inserts will miss removing some parts of the wood. While it may seem odd that the inserts are angled, we can change our reference and see that the inserts actually do form a straight line, and so the cutterhead won't miss any part of the board. This key difference in cutting creates a far smoother finish on wood and reduces the chances of tear out. Let's take a deeper dive into how the carbide inserts work. On the spiral cutterhead, the carbide inserts are square with a slightly rounded edge. The rounded edge is necessary to maintain the circular shape of the cutterhead and allows them to withstand the shear force without chipping or cracking. The inserts are simple to install and automatically index into place. It's as easy as removing the center screw and replacing the old insert with a new one. With a straight cutting blade, any chipping or damage means it's time to replace the blade. Even a small fracture at one point still requires the replacement of a full blade, and the cost of new blades can start to add up. In comparison, any damage taken by a carbide insert can be solved in 2 ways. The first option is that since the design of the carbide insert is square and symmetrical, you can simply rotate the insert 90 degrees and reuse it up to 4 times. Each time you rotate it, you use a new cutting face. If you've already used all 4 cutting edges, then you only need to replace the inserts that have been dulled or damaged. The carbide inserts have a far lower price than a straight blade and have a much longer lifespan before requiring replacement. Another benefit of the shear cut is the easier dust extraction process. Instead of removing large chunks of wood, the smaller chips create less of a mess and ease the cleaning process. Lastly, the operation noise when woodworking is far quieter with a spiral cutterhead. While the spiral cutterhead is a fantastic investment for woodworkers, there are some cons to using one. One of the biggest problems can be the base price. A spiral cutterhead can be an expensive purchase, however, it can be a good investment if you'd normally be buying replacement blades for your straight cutterhead often. If you frequently use a jointer or planer, you'll be able to make up for the initial purchase, but if you don't use the machine often, it may not be the right choice for you. The shear cut offers a better finish on wood, but may cause problems for certain motors and machines. This can be explained by the frequency of contact that the cutterhead has with the wood. For a straight blade, there is a gap after each blade contacts the wood, allowing the motor to rest before another spike in resistance. A spiral cutterhead doesn't have this same downtime and can put significantly more stress on a motor. In most cases, the motor in a machine is strong enough to handle a spiral cutterhead, but certain motors may be too weak and can be damaged. Without question, the spiral cutterhead is certainly an upgrade for any woodworking machine. Before purchasing one, it's important to know the application of the cutterhead to make the most informed decision. ShearTech offers a variety of spiral cutterheads for woodworking machines. You can learn more about our products at www.sheartech.com or contact us by email at sales@sheartech.com.